one. Can anyone answer if it is known of any positive COVID-19 cases that have been confirmed around the SailGP event thus far?
I can't speak to that. I'm not certain if anyone would be able to clarify.
Okay.
I'm not aware of any.
Okay. All right. So, is there a way to find this out? How do we know? Or we know that people. It was mentioned that 6 people had come in with it. Where are they staying? What are they? Are they associated with the event? We seem to have numbers of how many people come for an event, but we can't have numbers of how many people are here for the event.
Earl, I guess the question of which you're asking is, out of the 6 imported cases the minister reported, whether or not any of them were related to SailGP?
Yes.
Is that what you're asking?
Yes, that's what I was asking.
I don't know. The only thing I can say is that only 1 out of the 6 was a non-resident. So, I mean, I don't know if we'll disclose specific information on specific cases. I don't think we ever have. But as the CMO had said, not to the best of his knowledge, and it's not to my knowledge either. Nothing has come to my desk in regards to that. But the one thing that the Ministry of Health is very good at keeping private information private. So as a broad level, I have no knowledge of that. And out of the 6 imported cases that the minister announced, only 1 of those cases was a non-resident.
Okay. Next question would be, who's actually conducting the daily testing of the event for the people, including the Bermudians that are in and around the event thus far?
Those individuals are, as they're part of the Travelers Clinic, Earl, when you travel into Bermuda, then you have to have your subsequent 4, 10, and 14-day tests, and those are all conducted through the PROTS post office. Well, the PROTS testing center.
Okay. Can I just add to last week, the Premier did say that these people were having stringent tests done, and pretty much, I wouldn't say every day, but more regularly than local people. So they go to PROTS for each test?
I would say that those are standard testing for travelers. There are a number of private institutions which are doing tests, and I can get that information for you to find out who exactly is administering the tests.
Okay, all right. The last question, I guess, to the Premier that I have. When it came to local sports being allowed to return, one of the requirements was that no fans be allowed. So my question would be, how are we able to sell tickets at an event that primarily will be unsupervised on the water?
I'm not sure what tickets you can be sold to an event that's taking place on the water, as there
tickets are being sold. They're advertising tickets being sold on the water.
Tickets sold for what? You're asking information. Earl, just for 1 second. You're asking information on the assumption that I know what you're asking about. So that's what I'm saying. Sold for what? The event village is closed, so there is not going to be a group of persons who will be spectating. Any other type of event, any other type of group or gathering must comply with what the regulations exist right now. And the regulations that exist right now are only for 10 persons in any particular group. So I'm uncertain as to, as I said, I haven't seen what you're asking me, so it'll be difficult for me to respond specifically. So I'm asking, if you want to say specifically, I'm reading from this is what I have, et cetera, then I can respond to that. But what I have said previously is that the regulations which are in place in the country apply to everyone. They don't apply just to one group or another group or another group. They apply to everyone. And at this point in time, there are no gatherings that are greater than 10 persons. The only places where those things are allowed are, for instance, if you go to a restaurant, the people are seated and there's maximum 6 to a table, ventilation, only outdoor dining, those type of things. So the regulations are the same all over the place. I have no idea of which you're speaking to specifically. On the broader level, the question of when will local sports be allowed to return, I guess you're talking about local competitive team sports. And what I would say is that that is always based upon an assessment, which is done from the Ministry of Health. And so where we are is that we are looking to get to a place where we end this outbreak. And that means that our positivity rates need to go below 1 consistently. It means that our incidence rates need to go below, I think, I don't want to get the number wrong. Our incidence rates need to go below a certain amount. I think it is less than 10 per 100,000 population. I think that's the incidence rate we're trying to go to. And our R number needs to be consistently not only just below 1, but well below 1, so we're not seeing an expansion of the virus here. At that point in time, we could say that the outbreak is over. It will match in with the declining rates, will match in with increasing vaccination rates. But until that time, it's not a time where, for instance, you can see, I would say, close contact sports, which have certainly higher things. Right now, there's tennis that's taking place. There's golf that's taking place. It's not that all sports in the country have been stopped. Golf is taking place, tennis is taking place, things which are not at high risk of transmission. But if you're talking about rugby, or if you're talking about football, those are things where persons are far more closer, and there's far more ability for the transmission of a virus. So in saying all of those things, I would say the rules apply to everyone. And if you have specific instances or questions, please go ahead and submit the specific instances, and we can attempt to answer. And if there's something that is outside of the law, then that outside of the law will not be allowed.
Okay, then I would ask you to log on to SailGP Bermuda and click where they are requesting tickets be sold for the water. That's why I was asking.
So,
I'm not making it
so
up. I saw it.
Okay, so hold on a second. So you mean people on a boat to watch the race?
Yes, they are selling tickets. Yes.
And that would be subject to the exact same restrictions as people going on a boat to watch humpback whales. No more than 10 allowed to vote under current restrictions. And the restrictions apply to all, Earl, and that's what I'm trying to say. So the restrictions are not different. There are not permissions that have been issued for large events, and large event permissions are issued inside of the official gazette. So I get where the question is coming from, inquiring whether or not there's different rules for one, different rules for other. No, the rules are the same.
Okay. I'll try to log on and see if I can get how many people. It doesn't say on the post, it just says to sell tickets for tickets. So
Okay.
okay. Thank you.